Welcome back on the Yellow Couches. Sorry, I'm so starstruck after that interview with Elise. Now, right now on the Yellow Couches, we're joined by Equal Education Law Center. Now, a little bit of background info about the organization. Now, it was founded in 2012. The EELC provides legal services and representation free of charge to persons who would not otherwise be able to afford them. Now, the legal processes pursued by the EELC seek to create systemic, there we go, change in the education center. Don't ask me why I stuttered. It's not your,
That's not the point. The point is we have decided to invite them in studio to tell us a little bit more about, to help learners understand their rights within the school environment. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Now, my first question, thank you so much for coming. All right, can you just kindly introduce yourself first before we start?
Okay.
We need to get to know each other first, on a,
Okay, my name is Mbegezeli Benjamin, and I'm from the Equal Education Law Center. So basically, we're just a team of lawyers who work on education-related issues.
Now, speaking of that, I've seen in the media there has been an increase in of teenage pregnancies, sexual assault, and corporal punishment at schools. What are your thoughts on this?
It's unfortunate that these things still continue, but it's important to also separate these issues. So sexual assault, corporal punishment, teenage pregnancies are three big issues in the education space, but they happen sort of interlinked, but very separately. So sexual assault would be something where someone in the school environment, whether it's a teacher or a fellow learner, takes advantage of another learner in a sexual way. Sexual assault can result in teenage pregnancy. But even if you are pregnant in a school environment, you have certain rights and you deserve to be protected. And then corporal punishment has been illegal for the past close to 20 years now, but it's still continuing. So these are issues that are facing the education system, and we are trying very hard to assist in combating them and stopping them.
Yeah,
okay.
So now in the learning environment, these things are happening. What are the learners' rights and what steps can they take to ensure that they are safe within the learning environment?
So learners have several rights in the education space. The most important one is the right to education. And included in that right to education is the right to a safe learning environment. So that's the most important thing, is that you must be able to learn and be taught in an environment that is safe for you. And that's connected to other rights, like your right to bodily integrity, which is in the Constitution, your right to security, your right to privacy. All of those rights are interconnected, but the most important one is your right to education. And once there's an incident of sexual assault within the school premises, then your right to education is automatically violated.
Now, another case scenario, something happened close to home in Tanukulu High School. Now, to what circumstances a teacher, educator allowed to come back after sexually assaulting a learner?
So the Tandokuli case is a very sad case. We have learned from media reports that there was ongoing sexual assault against a particular teacher, and he had now even gone as far as to assaulting learners with a belt, what is called corporal punishment. All of those things are unacceptable. They are completely unacceptable, they are completely illegal. But from what we've gathered so far, and we are assisting, Equal Education Law Center and Equal Education are assisting the learners, but what we've gathered so far is that the department has started investigations. They say that those investigations, they haven't gotten all of the evidence for them to be able to take steps. And it's really unfortunate that in the law, a teacher is not automatically suspended when they are under investigation. It's a gap in the law that we are hoping that the department will try and sort out through new guidelines that will say how should the process unfold when there's an investigation. But there are certain steps that a learner can take to ensure that they are protected. For example, they can lay a criminal case, and one of the bail conditions that the court can set is that the teacher is not allowed to set foot on the school premises. A learner can also get a protection order to ensure that the teacher doesn't come close to them. But another thing is that the department can initiate an investigation and they can try and look at what happened. During the investigation, they can try to put the teacher on suspension so that they protect the witnesses, the children, other children who are affected by this. The main thing that the department must take into consideration is the best interest of the child. So they must make sure that they protect all the learners in the school.
But when the educator comes back, first of all, the students are not going to be,
intimidated.
Very uneasy to be in the same classroom as them. And it's, from what I hear, it's a really long process for this person to get justice just because of this one person. At the meantime, you have to sit there and watch this person be in the same presence as you. It's really unfair.
Yeah, it is. We also feel that it is an unfair process because also it puts a lot of responsibility on a learner to take steps against the teacher, for example, opening the protection order. But justice, unfortunately, takes a long time. But, of course, that's where we try and assist to ensure that things speed up a little bit.
And obviously free of charge?
Free of charge.
Okay.
Well, I was about to ask what the correct procedure is when it comes to, you know, calling out these teachers or learners who are doing these things or violating education's rights, but you basically answered my question. Yeah. Kind of. So
yeah. I hope so. I hope I didn't answer it too much, but maybe just to give a brief overview. Yeah. There are several steps that you can take. You can take the criminal route, which is opening a case at the police station, where the police will investigate and the case will go to court, obviously. And then the second step is for you to go to the Department of Education, report it to them, and they must also investigate. But there's also a body, an organization called the South African Council of Educators, which is the professional organization for all teachers. For you to be a teacher at a school, you need to be given sort of a license by that body. And if there's anything wrong that you've done, that body can take away your license. So a learner can report to these three organizations or three institutions, but the most important thing is that they report, even if it's not to the principal or the teacher, but to their parents. And the principal has an obligation to report it once a child has reported it to the principal. The principal has to call in the department, and investigation has to happen.
And speaking of the department, how supportive is the Department of Education when it comes to the work that you guys do as an organization?
So we are a national organization, work across the country, and it differs from province to province. And also how we also relate to the national department. For example, we've had a good relationship with the national department where we have contributed to, for example, the guidelines on corporal punishment, guidelines on positive discipline, guidelines on discrimination. We've had a good working relationship. In some provinces, like the Western Cape Education Department, we've had previous cases where there's corporal punishment. We have brought those complaints to them, they have taken them seriously, and they have investigated. Of course, there's still room for improvement in that relationship, but yeah, we have a positive relationship, I'd say.
Thank you so
unfortunately,
much.
we have run out of time. Thank you so much for teaching us about the rights that we have.
But I see you have a book there quickly.
So this book, the Basic Education Rights Handbook, we've produced it with colleagues who also work in education law, and it's for learners, for them to know their rights, which is the most important thing. And you can download chapters from it, from this book, on our website, and we've also posted some of the chapters on Facebook.
So what's the website?
The website is eelawcenter.org.za, or you can search on Facebook, it's Equal Education Law Center.
Thank you so much. You said that with a smile. Thank you so much for coming. You heard it. We have to take a quick, we'll be back right after this.